This episode is brought to you by Tic Tac. Summer tastes like Tic Tac. Tantalize your taste buds this sunny season with citrus adventure and orange. 2 everyday flavors that bring summer in every. Tic Tac Citrus Adventure is a yummy, vibrant medley of lemon, lime, and mandarin. And Tic Tac Orange is the perfect mix of tangy and sweet. Visit us at Tic Tac USA on social to refresh your summer with Tic Tac.
The following is a Red Apple Podcast Network presentation.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it.
Welcome to Dominic Carter's podcast. This is Dominic Carter City Hall. Now, here's Dominic Carter.
Dominic Carter, Red Apple Podcast 77 WABC. You can listen to me on the radio Monday through Friday, midnight to 1 a.m. Midnight to 1 a.m. Take a listen. You will like the program and find it informative. I promise. I recently was the MC of a program in New York City, which is called ArtBridge. And the slogan of ArtBridge is, it connects the public to the arts. But here is the amazing catch, a tremendous plus in this case. ArtBridge involves New York City public housing. With me is Stephen Peterson, who has been the executive director of ArtBridge since 2014. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Dominic.
So what exactly is ArtBridge?
So ArtBridge, we're a nonprofit based in the Chelsea neighborhood of Manhattan. We were founded 14 years ago. And our whole premise is that New York City is just immersed in construction fencing. At last count, there are over 320 miles of it surrounding us in all 5 boroughs. It truly corrodes the vibrancy of our city. And our premise is, why not instead turn this into an asset for one of our city's greatest resources, our thousands of talented artists. So we've built a program that enables us to get permits to do exactly that. And we've been producing dozens and dozens of exhibitions on construction fencing in all 5 boroughs.
Wow. And so, up until being involved with your program, I didn't stop Stephen Peterson, the executive director of ArtBridge, for 1 second to think about the fences and, the art that appears on the fences at construction sites. So you're also working with NYCHA. Tell me about that.
Correct. So we're not just putting up art. We're trying to be very cognizant of the individual communities and neighborhoods in which we produce art. We try to use hyper-local artists to understand their neighborhoods and communities well. And we take a special pride in the program we're producing at public housing developments in New York City. The New York City Housing Authority is home to 400,000 lower-income New Yorkers in all 5 boroughs. And many of these developments are just enshrouded in construction fencing for years at a time. It creates a really fortress-like environment. And what we do is we bring in local artists, often the artists who live in these developments themselves, and through months of engagement with residents, workshops, events, casual meetings, the artists try to design artworks that amplify the voices of those residents. How do they want to see themselves represented in art? Their talents, their histories, their cultures, their joys, whatever they want to appear will appear in the art. And at the end of this, we design hundreds of feet of exhibition that goes up on these construction fences in their public living spaces.
And so we are chatting with Stephen Peterson, the executive director of ArtBridge, a New York City program that combines the arts and also New York City public housing. And so you're basically hitting 2 stones, if you will, or doing 2 things with 1 stone in terms of you're beautifying communities, in this case, public housing, and it's also putting local artists to work. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. We're trying to improve the public living spaces of these New York City public housing residents. But more than that, we're trying to work with these communities to see how they want themselves to be represented through art. So this is a very involved process where we are often hiring artists who work in those buildings. We run open calls to find these artists, and the residents themselves choose who they want to work with. Then we hire multiple residents to facilitate this process, to get the word out about what we're doing, to bring in key stakeholders. And on top of that, we partner with local nonprofit organizations that already program in these communities. So over the course of several months, we touch on hundreds of residents who involve themselves in this creation process.
So why is this program, this initiative, why is it important?
Thanks for asking. Great question. You yourself, Dominic, grew up in public housing in the Bronx. And I think you know very well that when public housing residents and developments are represented in the media, the narratives are almost uniformly bleak when bad things happen. We want to provide a very prominent public platform to show the other side of things, the talents, the joys, the histories, the cultures. There are 400,000 people who live in public housing, and it's a hugely dynamic community that really forms the backbone of what New York is all about.
And that's true. Let's harp on that for 1 second.
Shopping is hard.
I can never find anything in my size.
I don't even know my size.
I buy my clothes the same place I buy my groceries.
There's a better way. Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Just share your size, style, budget, and done. Your personal stylist sends pieces picked just for you.
That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping and returns. No subscription required. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
You know Stephen Peterson, the executive director of ArtBridge, and that's who we're chatting with right now, that I'm well aware of, having grown up in the Peterson projects in the South Bronx, the Throgs Neck houses also in the Bronx, that a lot of negative is focused on. And you're telling us that you're trying to change that, correct?
Correct, but we're definitely not telling residents what should be in the art. That's fully up to them and the artists. We found over and over again, however, that when given the choice, residents want to present the positives. There are so many people who are so talented living in public housing developments, and they want those talents on display, those people on display. They want the joys of their cultures and histories on display. And through hundreds of linear feet, through our exhibitions, they are getting the opportunity to prominently display these talents and joys and cultures and histories.
How do you fund ArtBridge and pay for it?
It's a hodgepodge. We're a nonprofit. We're not a deeply well-funded nonprofit, so we do the nonprofit thing. We beg individual donors. We get some city funding. We apply for grants and foundation money. It's a work in progress, and you can donate to our great cause through our website, art-bridge.org.
And so one more time, for people that are interested in donating from the public or knowing more about the program, how can they contact you, and what's the website again?
Our website is art-bridge.org, and our Instagram is @ArtBridge. And we welcome conversation. We welcome your ideas about where we can bring this program to next, and what voices we might be missing in this process, because as much as we try to capture all the disparate voices of public housing residents, there's always someone who's not quite in the room, and we're always looking to find those people.
Well, all I can say is, from emceeing your event and being involved with you, you folks are doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful work. You're taking artists and you're making communities appear more in a pleasant way and a positive way. And I just say bravo to what you folks are doing. I want to close this way. And we are chatting with Stephen Peterson, the executive director of ArtBridge, a New York City program that combines the arts and New York City housing. Tell us something that we don't know about ArtBridge, because, I've been covering this city a long time, and I just recently found out about your program. Tell us something about ArtBridge that makes you feel good, Stephen Peterson, and we'll close the interview that way.
Sure. I think we're pushing the envelope for what is possible in this city. We built this program with the city, whereas permits for these types of exhibitions before were not possible, and we've helped make it possible. And just this last week, we've received tentative permission from the School Construction Authority to bring this program to New York City public schools. So that deeply excites me, and that's what you can expect more from us on in 2023.
That's fantastic. Does that mean that the kids in the school may do some of the artwork, or it'll still be local artists?
It'll be a collaboration, just like we do at New York City Housing Authority developments. We'll bring in local artists. They'll collaborate with school children, and I can't wait to see what they all produce together.
Wow, and it's going to be amazing. Folks, this is a program that you want to check out. There are so many great positive stories in New York, and this organization, ArtBridge, is one of them. Stephen Peterson, the executive director of ArtBridge, we thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Dominic.
And I want to close this podcast episode by saying to you folks, if you are interested in the book on my life growing up in New York City and overcoming numerous obstacles, the book is titled No Mama's Boy, and it will be personally signed by me or my bobblehead. You can go to my website, DominicCarterOnline.com, all one word, DominicCarterOnline.com. You can catch me on 77 WABC weeknights, midnight to 1 a.m., midnight to 1 a.m. Go check out the Dominic Carter merchandise at the 77 WABC store, from Dominic Carter t-shirts, the hats, and much more. Go to WABCRadiostore.com. Dominic Carter, Red Apple Podcast, 77 WABC.
I gotta make it.
Dominic Carter Socials on Twitter at Dominic TV and Facebook and Instagram. Dominic Carter TV. Email at dominic.carter@wabcradio.com. Until the next episode, be well. And as Dominic always says, stay positive. The glass is always half full, never half empty. Dominic Carter City Hall.